don't know whether anything's coming to me for 7. 7 heaven. 9/11. Huh?
Conspiracies. Today's episode is conspiracies.
It's not. I don't think I can go through that with you.
But what if we looked at the impacts that conspiracies can contribute to mental health? QAnon. Terrorists.
No, it's definitely a rabbit hole. I think even going past conspiracies as well into more of the, I don't know what the actual word for it is, but like the creepypasta stuff with like Slender Man and like when kids are literally killing other kids because they convinced themselves that Slender Man wanted them to do it.
Wild.
Could you imagine? You wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and Nola stood at the end of your bed with a knife.
No, you say that before with a knife. Calm down. But I was asleep once. It's when Nola first started going to bed in her room. The first night, we decorated her room. She went there fine. Went into bed great. It's like 3:30 in the morning. And I'm asleep. And I open my eyes. I don't know what told me to open my eyes. But when I opened them, she was stood in my face. Hair over her. Just staring at me. And I went, "What you doing, mate?" She went, "Daddy." I went, "Come in here." Just got her in bed. Went back to sleep. She just stood there. It was like a horror film. Hair all over her face.
Is there something wrong with that kid? Because you sent me a message the other day, and you said that you heard her.
Oh, God. Yeah?
What was it?
I was on the landing. She was asleep in our bed. And I was walking up the stairs. And all I heard was an old-fashioned phone. I don't know where it come from. But that's what I heard. Old-fashioned phone that you'd hear on the TV. Now, the TV was on. But I know what was on. That phone wouldn't be there. I heard this old telephone. It goes, brrr, brrr. And Nola just sits up, opens her eyes. What did she say?
You said, "No, I don't want to go out into the garden."
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, maybe our house is possessed.
Or your kid is.
Kid is, yeah. Great. I'll be on the news. 10 years.
I think I said, when you sent me the message, I literally said, "Grab them kids and get out of that house."
A blade in the neck. I'm my own kid.
I'm sleeping in this house.
You are? You're next. You're first.
Wow.
So how's your week been?
Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. We're coming more towards end of the year. You just start reflecting, looking back. But yeah. It's always weird. I feel like December and January are real blue months for me. I don't know whether I just need to invest in a sad light. Do you know what those are?
No.
It's like light therapy. Seasonal affective disorder.
Right.
Like I think it's the lack of sunlight convinces your brain or something to reduce the amount of like these chemicals and that you need. So you feel sad.
Okay.
So you buy these lamps to simulate sunlight and it makes you feel better.
Okay. I have heard of them actually. Or do you think it's just like people are sad they don't get to hear Michael Bublé anymore until next Christmas?
Potentially.
Or you like my wife lives for Halloween.
Oh, 365.
All year round.
Like your Christmas decorations are Halloween decorations. It's a cheat.
It's a battle to try and get her to take them down. Like, we don't need 50 bats.
No.
Mate, honestly.
There's a coffin in your living room.
There's a coffin. Like a big coffin.
Life-size coffin.
In our last house, I came back from work and she'd stuck 280 bats on the wall over our bed. Stuck them to the wall. I wasn't asked. She just did it.
Why?
I like them. They look cool. The landlord was pissed when we moved there because she peeled them off. It left them all.
280.
280 of them. All different sizes.
Wow.
I mean, for Halloween, it gets a pass.
That would look sick.
Oh, it looks great.
Yeah.
Christmas
But
morning.
Christmas morning, waking up to a flock of bats or whatever you call them over your head.
No, sir.
Jesus Christ. How you been anyway, mate?
Had a bit of a downer week, to be honest.
Talk to me about it.
Just a lot of shit going on, really. Getting really... I don't want to sound like a broken record. Like, I'm competing with postgrads at the minute, trying to change jobs. I'm just sick of what I'm doing at the minute. And it takes me to something that happened at work, actually, when I was feeling down. So, I was at work, and this old lady came up to me, and she was like, "Can you help me with all this coal? Get all this coal to my car?" I was like, "I can." And then she's like, "Oh, I need a trolley coin because I'm doing security. I'm not meant to do it, but I did. I got her a coin. Helped her load all this coal into a trolley. Took it all to a car, load it all. And then she turned around to me and she went, "Have you got mum or dad? You got mum and dad?" I went, "I've got mum, but my dad's passed away." And she went, "Well, tell her she's got a beautiful, helpful son who's really kind."
That's so sweet.
And I was like, I was having a shit day. And I was like, thank you. I was so grateful.
He's so sweet. She didn't need to do that. What?
Tell my mum that. I'm actually a nice man. Yeah, it's lovely. It's mad how I feel like I sent that day.
You needed that day.
I needed it. But once I heard that, it kind of kicked me into second gear for the day, you know.
What do you think she needed so much coal for?
For the winter. I imagine she's got like a real fireplace. Like an old fireplace.
So the winter don't take her.
No one's paying the electric bills these days, are they? Cost of living. Get all the coal in. Get the fire going. Close the doors. Did you, when you were younger, like Nan and Grandad have those like door stops, the big snakes and stuff?
No?
No, my Nan did. She had like snakes.
What, like draft excluders?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Keep the winter out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking childhood today. Growing up. We grew up round the corner from each other, essentially. But obviously, didn't meet until college days. What was it like for you growing up?
You know, seemingly now you talk to parents, and it seems like the complete opposite of how kids grow up these days. We, you know, up until a certain age, we were just out all the time. You know, whether we were playing football, just dossing around.
Dossing.
Yeah. That's what it was called. Do you want to come and doss?
Come in dossing, kid.
Yeah, that's straight up. But no, and you just get into doing stupid shit in it, just to occupy the time, make yourself laugh, get a chase.
Mate, the adrenaline rush of getting a chase as a kid. I f***ing loved it.
There was like tiers of it. So you get like a chase from someone, you know, someone whose house you've just targeted with onions or something stupid, you know, chucking onions or eggs at someone's house. So then you get a chase from them. But then the top elite level chase was from the police.
Yeah.
If the police were ever called or the police were in the area. What a ridiculous waste of time.
But we had a system on my estate. We had like characters, if you will.
Okay.
So we'd start off light, We go to a lady called Tracy Frankham, who apparently, according to kids' hearsay, used to watch a Minge the Sing. That's what we used to say. That was the rule. Tracy Frankham washes a Minge in the sink. And that's what we used to shout at her when we used to see her.
You wash your minge in the sink, you do! What the f***? What's... Even if Tracy Frankham does wash her minge in the sink?
Yeah.
What? Kids are...
Apparently, this lad called Gary Murphy looked for a gate and she was apparently washing a minge in the kitchen sink. Next to some old plates. Mad. But I digress. So she was moderate. Didn't really get a chase. But you got some
lip out the door.
Some lip out the door.
Yeah.
So then we'd move round to Dragons, who was an old man who had a big nose.
And you called him Dragon.
Called him Dragon. He used to come out, stand at. He used to come to. It's like we used to get people gradually at their house. So Dragon come and stand at the end of his gate, fold his arms. If you want me to phone the little men in blue. That was him. That was Dragon. So we'd move on. And then I would bypass Ginger Sharon's, who was just Ginger Sharon. She was a bit mouthy, bit on Tracy Frankham level with a minge in the sink.
Yeah. Lives next door to Black Tony.
Yeah. Yeah. She had loads of kids running around the estate. Yeah. No shoes and socks on. Slapping it about. But then we'd end up at an old guy who was a former pastor called Alien Features. That's what we used to call him. Now, I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of why we called him Alien Features, but
I just let you... yeah.
It's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
So, he used to get all the shit because he used to bite. We would get the chase, no matter what, of Alien Features. So, it used to start off with, knock door run, escalate to kick in the door, legging it. You'd get a chase for an hour off him. And then it resorted to hiding over the school in front of his house, and we'd attach a peg to a fishing wire to his letterbox and line the long grass, pulling that. And then, bro, it started to escalate. He started to bring out an air rifle.
Yeah. I think you deserved it.
Yeah. So then he used to start bringing that out. Then we were gone then. But then he used to escalate. Eggs. Every day.
Was there any moment, when you were doing all this when it got real?
Oh, yeah. There was a time where a couple of years, like groups of lads from different years of my school, they were all out on this big field one night. And then someone obviously goes, oh, let's go and play features up.
Features.
So,
nicknames.
You'd all get going. Da-da-da. Knock door run. But then there's a big group. It becomes less of a chase. So he's there arguing with us and no one's running. Mouth back. It gets real. And then this year 11 lad, I won't name him, he squared up to him one time. He's got an old guy. He's an old man essentially, arguing. And then he punches him.
The year 11 punches him.
Punched him. And this man drops to the floor. And then it all became very real. Like the banter, the chases. Didn't matter anymore. Because it was like, actually, this has gone f***ed up.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? It's not funny. It's awful. And then it stopped. And I don't think anyone did Alien Features again. I feel like then the younger lads started to do it. Oh, let's go and play Alien Features up because they'd heard what we'd done. Yeah. Then we used to stop it.
The big ones are like, nah, come on, leave them alone.
Yeah. Wild childhood.
Kids are bad.
Yeah.
And it makes you realise when you reflect back. Like 100%. It really does.
Awful.
But it's interesting how when something so real happens, that can be the catalyst for then you to,
Everything's a lesson.
I guess on the subject of things getting real, and staying with childhoods, and not to take things to a deep dark level, but that's what we do.
It's a dark hole.
Is there like a moment of your childhood or teens where it's almost something that you always look back on as maybe like, to put a hat on a hat, like the main trauma that you faced in your childhood?
I wouldn't say teens. I would say that period that we spoke about last week with the domestic violence and whatnot. And having to hear that all the time, that's a block in my life that clouds a lot of everything else. My main memories from that period are negative, and it's just really uncomfortable reliving in my head. And I feel like a lot of anxieties could have come with me because of that. Yeah, my stepdad was a dickhead. Like, there was a time when he punched my mom. I run into the bedroom, and I was amped up. Obviously, there's a level of fear, so you're not going to do anything. But out of anger, I was like, I vividly remember saying, "When I'm 16, I'm going to kill you." I said that, and I meant every word. And then I got to 10, 11. His liver exploded at the top of the stairs. He fell down, died. Boom. Take that. Mate, I'm sorry if anyone in his family hears this, but the experiences I have of him couldn't have happened to a better guy. And when my nan picked me up from school that day and told me, I laughed hysterically because I thought it was the best day because it was over.
Wow.
Again, I apologise to his kids if they see it. I don't care. He was a piece of shit and he had it coming.
No, absolutely. Karma.
Karma's cat. Put her in your lap because he loves me. I'm getting there. Taylor Swift. Can I have free tickets? I'll go then.
Sort of whiplash, a changing subject.
That's dark, man. But what about you? Like, is there a time where you can think back to where it always comes back to you, like a reoccurring thought that sticks with you? And
yeah, no, I'd probably say the opposite of yours. So I was quite in my mid-teens, 14, probably about 14. I think it's a time probably where a lot of when my low mood started. I think I'm not saying that this was a trigger, but it's something that I look back to as almost like the first chapter. So, I'm 14, 15, whatever it is. Secondary school, I guess really starting to be interested fully in, girls and stuff. And I had this friend who was a girl. We were inseparable for years. Like wherever I went, she went. Wherever she went, I went. We had a friendship group, but we'd always be we'd do everything together. And it was that way for a couple of years. And then at one point started to see significantly less of her through illness. And everything was quite quiet. Like there was no real detail as what was wrong. You kids, you just get on with it. We start to, I guess, see each other more outside of school because she wasn't coming into school. which I thought was weird because when I'd see her, I was like, you're not ill. And then there was this one point I hadn't seen her in a couple of months, maybe. So that was hard enough in itself. And then, so I go to her house, and she's not there. So I'm just chilling with her little brother for a bit, and then she comes back, and she's like holding a picture, and she like shows me the picture, and it's of a baby. And I just go, oh, cool. Who's that? Thinking it's like her niece or, you know, her
Oh, is it
friend.
her baby?
And she'd had a baby.
What?
Yeah. Did the full term, did everything. No one had any clue. And yeah, so she'd had the baby, and
How old?
which is the same age as me, 14, 15 or something.
Wow.
I just remember being in her bedroom, and when we went into her bedroom, I just vividly remember it like there was a crib right in the end of the room, and like there was all the supplies like nappies, you know, wipes and everything. It just looked so different to the room that I was used to, and I just remember sitting there just numb. I couldn't really say anything.
Does she have a boyfriend?
There was like this older guy, like I'm sure he was in his 20s or something. And yeah, I just remember being so numb. I can't remember anything we spoke about. And then I just remember being in the car home. I'm sure her mum or dad took me back. And I just remember going straight to my room and just sitting there.
That's a lot to process.
But at that age as well, I was just kind of sat there like,
You thought you were going around to play Guitar Hero?
no, straight up. And you know, it's weird because obviously there were so many like thoughts and feelings there towards her. Like we were obsessed. You know, you're that age where, you know, you are starting to get those like feelings towards people, and like, you know, we were so close, and to not have a clue that she'd quite literally been through a pregnancy, had her child, and to know then, it was wild. And I was so numb, and I feel like I was so numb for so long after that. I feel like some of me is still there. It's weird, wild. It's
A lot of innocence was left in that room.
100%. Like that, I feel like that's probably when life started to get real.
Yeah, it's real, yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like that was my real moment of, okay, this is what life is. I feel like I lost a lot of trust for people then. Yeah. I definitely started to pull back from people. Like, you know, in school I had so many friends. You know, I was familiar with everyone, but we had our main core group of friends. And I feel like from that point, I probably did begin to withdraw myself from groups of people. And, you know, it's probably a large reason why I am so much of a lone wolf now. You know, I have you. You are probably my only friend. And that's by choice, obviously. But yeah.
Do you feel like you've got to a point in your life now where... Because I feel like this. Jem, my wife, feels like this. I'm not too bothered about... Sorry, there's a note coming under the door.
We've got mail.
Got mail? Right. I'm going to grab that.
Okay.
1 second.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
I'm going to read it out.
Someone's...
Podcast's going to read it out.
I mean, I don't know whether it's someone we know.
Need to leave at 3:50. I would like to come to talk to the vet. No problem.
His cat's ill, by the way. Just to add some context to this.
I've been fleeced this month. We've got a new cat.
purring in your lap because he loves you.
Should be a Taylor Swift fan club show. This, a new Sphinx cat, and she's ill. So, some respiratory issues. So, I could sort that out today. It costs another £1 million. But off topic. What was
I'm so distracted.
So distracted. I was going to talk about something.
Do you feel?
At this age, at this point in life, I don't want to make new friends.
No.
Because there's no one who is on, I don't want to say on my level, because that sounds egotistical, but there's no one who understands me, I find, or that's how I feel. I might be wrong, but I don't connect with a lot of people. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
And that's why I've got DTA.
Don't trust anyone.
Don't trust anyone. Because, unfortunately, in this life, a lot of people let you down.
No, for sure. For sure. You can put your, everything into people. And then they have a child.
It's mad.
I mean, absolutely zero ill feelings or, any hang-ups or anything on that situation. You're like, it is what it is. I can't imagine how she felt needing to keep that from not only me, but everyone. Like, can you imagine how lonely that must have been for her? Not being at school for one. We're still young. Like, what year are we? 9, 10? Something like that. 10. Then having to deal with that on your own. Go through that pregnancy on your own. Without confiding in friends. I can't imagine how difficult that would have been.
As well.
Well, yeah. Exactly. Like, I can't imagine how difficult it would have been. And... like, absolutely don't want to take any of that away from her. But yeah, that was just my experience of it and the way that it affected me.
Just, yes. Yeah, friendship died that day.
It's probably one of my big early lessons in life.
Funny story, right? You can probably hear the rain, right? There's a storm this week. Storm Kieran.
Yep.
Me. See?
Was that your story?
Yeah. Just wanted to tell you about that. Just in case you didn't know.
I was aware of the storm.
Quite fun. You ever had a storm named after you? A storm of emotions.
Like, people die, man. And that's got your name all over it.
But if anyone has been affected by Storm Kieran, drop us an email.
It's all you. This is your fault.
It's not really, it was a bit. Because now I feel insecure about a storm that I didn't start.
So what's the plan, mate? What are we doing? What are we doing for the rest of the day? What time is it? 3:15. Oh, you got to go and pick up your sickly cat.
And then we should probably look at food.
Food. Oh, what are we thinking?
I don't know. We'll have to discuss it.
Enough food.
Enough food. There's just one thing to remember.
What's that?
Girls cry.
Boys cry too.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.